What's up, guys? In this video, I want to go over the top 3 equations that I saw my own students make mistakes on when solving linear equations. Now, in this video, I'm just going to focus on the 2-step equations, but it didn't matter if students were just learning the process or had already moved on. They still made these same mistakes. So I want to go over them, so hopefully you do not make the same mistakes. All right, now this problem has a lot of things going on with it that students would get confused with. Most likely, though, it's going to be the fraction. We have the negatives, and also the variable and this constant are kind of being rearranged. So one thing that students would have trouble with in this is not understanding that my variable x is being added by 4, because that's a positive 4. So the students would make mistakes on, they would sometimes add the 4 to both sides because they see that subtraction sign, but we need to understand that's a positive. So one thing I'd always tell students is, let's first rearrange the equation so it's a little bit easier for us to be able to see what operations are being applied to our x. Okay, so just make sure you have your signs and everything is going to be preserved. And now we know that we're going to subtract a 4, so students would subtract a 4. Now again, whenever we're doing negatives and subtraction, students would always seem to make mistakes. So sometimes, students would do -6 or +6 or whatever may be the case, or sometimes even a +14. Just remember, guys, I always like to think about this with money. If you owe me $10 and you borrow $4 more, you're now going to owe me $14. All right, and then the next one will come into a fraction. Students just hated fractions, no matter what was the case. And they knew that this was multiplication, right? So they knew that to be able to solve this, they needed to divide by a 2/3. But then when they go into there, write it like this, it just gets confusing. It's like, how do I divide by 2/3, or how do I divide 14 by 2/3? Even though we practice like multiplying, dividing fractions, it can get confusing right into that format. So the main thing that I always like to tell students is, rather than thinking about the inverse operations in this point, remember what our goal here is to get a 1 in front of the x. So we got to think about, what should I multiply by this -2/3, and that would be equal to 1. And hopefully you remember, with operations of fractions or any just number, if I want to multiply 4 by a number to get it to equal to 1, I'm going to multiply by its applicative inverse, which is its reciprocal. So therefore you get a 4/4, which is equal to 1. If I have a 2/3 and I want to get that to be 1, I'll just multiply it by its reciprocal. That's going to be a 6/6, which is equal to 1. Now again, we don't want this to be a -1, so I'm going to multiply everything by a -3/2. -3/2. And you might have been saying in the video as you're watching this, like, oh, dividing by fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. Look what we're doing. We're just multiplying by the reciprocal right there. All right, so that's going to go to 1. We're now going to get x equals, and then remember, when you have a fraction multiplied by an integer, just go ahead and change your integer over to a fraction. Now you multiply straight across. Remember, it's a negative times a negative, so that's going to be a positive. 14 times 3, so 14 times 2 is 28, times 3 is going to be a 42. And then we have this divided by 2. Now 42 divided by 2 is, oh, sorry, yep, that's a positive. And that's going to equal a 21. Now, the next mistake is with, guess what? Another fraction. And I think this one gets confusing because when we think about applying inverse operations to solving linear equations, we always talk about the reverse order of operations. Always undo addition and subtraction first, undo multiplication and division. This gets confusing because what students will try to do is try to add the 4 on both sides. But unfortunately, that's not really a 4. That is actually a 4 that is being divided by 3. So one thing you can do, and sometimes for students that are okay with fractions, I say, you know what, just rewrite it like this, all right? Rewrite it as its fractional form, and then you can go and apply solving technique with fractions, eliminating the fractions, whatever may be the case. However, I don't always think that's the best idea for a majority of students. What I always usually like to tell them is, let's get rid of the fractions first. If I don't want this 3 in the denominator, how do I undo it? So we got to think about, well, what gets rid of a 3 in the denominator? And the easiest case would be, let's say I had 9 divided by 3. Well, that can be simplified here to a 3. What if I had a 3 divided by 3? That can get simplified to a 1. Now, what do these have in common? The numerator is divisible by my denominator, right? So what I want to do is find a number that I can multiply by that's going to be divisible by 3. You can pick any number, but do we really want to include something that's larger than 1? No. So what I'm going to simply do is just multiply both sides here by 3. Right? Because remember, whatever you do on one side, you have to be able to do on the other. So now what's happening is 3 divided by 3, we know goes to 1. And then over here, I'm going to have 12 times 3, 12, 24, 36. Now you can see we have a linear equation which we can just apply our operation, or a two-step linear equation, which now we can use our inverse operations. Now we can undo subtraction before undoing multiplication. So we'll add 4 to both sides, and then divide by 2 on both sides. All right, answer equals 20. And into example number 3 with, what do you know, fractions. Do you think there's maybe a theme? Fractions stink, right? Nobody likes fractions. And it makes things a little bit more confusing. It adds some extra steps, but that's okay. Let's go through this problem because it's a little bit different, but it's also similar to everything else we've been doing in this video. So in this case, I have x divided by 2 plus a 3 over 4 is equal to a 5. Now, there's a couple ways that we can approach this problem. And one thing, though, I want you to understand is whenever, again, we have an integer, we can always rewrite that as a fraction by rewriting that as a 5 over a 1. Now, what I want you to think about is if I need to get rid of these fractions, I want to be able to find a value that all my denominators divide into. Thankfully for 1, we know that 1 is going to divide into any integer. So now we need to look for 2 and 4. But we don't want to pick any number, right? We just don't want to pick like 20 or 40 or 100. We want to pick the smallest number that 2 and 4 evenly divide into. And so if you think about the multiples of 2 and 4, hopefully you can recognize that 2 divides into 4 and 4 divides into 4. So that is what we call our least common denominator. That is going to be 4. So what I'm simply going to do to get rid of my fractions is I'm going to multiply all of these terms by 4. Now, you got to make sure to keep your what we call an equivalent equation, you have to multiply every term by that. So what I'm going to do is actually write it out. That helps me avoid making some mistakes, but also so you guys can see how exactly this is going to be simplified. Okay, so now what you can see is I have this 4 that's in the numerator. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times x is going to be a 2x. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 3 is going to be a 3, and 4 times 5 is going to equal a 20. So now we have a two-step equation. We can go ahead and subtract a 3. I get a 2x is equal to a 17. Unfortunately, 2 does not divide into 17, but ladies and gentlemen, that's okay. Like, go back and check your work if you think you made a mistake, because sometimes we know that teachers and textbooks love to have integer solutions, but just because you have a fraction doesn't mean that you got it wrong. Right? So always go back and go ahead and check your work, but you can see that this one is correct, and hopefully you know how to avoid mistakes.